hey, maybe you're looking to travel to Maple Leaf Square.
Maybe.
Well, listen, if you're from out of town and you don't want to pay roaming fees, Saily might be the thing for you because it's available in 160 countries, 8 regions around the world. We got a discount code for you, and we'll give that to you in just a little bit here. But when you go traveling, whether it's here for your big team game, because I can't say the team name right now.
Oh.
You know, the big team that you love. Or it's somewhere else for something else that you love. I don't know. Maybe you just want to go to a beach.
I don't know.
Saily is the thing for you.
I don't know what's happening.
No, you don't know what's happening.
No, I just want you to get to what we can get a discount on Saily.
All right. Fine.
Give me the things.
15%. I was trying to put it in your mind.
No, keep going.
Envision you on a
Keep going.
beach.
There you
Get
go.
an exclusive 50% discount on Saily data plans. Use the code DANGLE at checkout. Download the Saily app or go to saily.com/dangle. Let's start the show.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Hello, everybody. Live from Sport Check, Maple Leaf Square. We're here. And by the way, Sport Check is your destination for playoff gear this playoff season. They are the fastest in the biz for cresting. So if you need to get a crest done, you need to get a name on the back. Maybe you need to finally buy that Matthew Nyes jersey.
You're seeing them more and more. Producer Maddie pointed that out.
I'm thinking I might get one today. We're doing our own jersey crest today, and I'm like, I think it's time for a Matt Nyes jersey.
Nice.
It might look nice on you.
Whoa. Wow, this guy. Also, Sport Check has opened a new concept store like you've never seen before. It's Sport Check at Etobicoke, North Queen. They're hosting an exciting grand opening on the May 2-4 long weekend. Coach Chippy's going to be there, Hockey Benders, and Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors.
Will Steve ever visit that store because it is in Etobicoke, a region of the GTA that Steve does not like to travel to?
Now, what's in it for me?
You get to visit an awesome concept Sport Check store.
Yeah. Well.
And see Chris Boucher, which is kind of sick.
And Chippy.
Do I get how much free stuff I get? Like five
a lot.
$5,000.
No.
500.
No, like $100.
$5. Okay.
No,
100.
You're on Steve Dangle. Maybe it's like $250.
Damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Do I have that kind of pull these days?
Yeah, I think
All right.
so.
I know, Jesse, you might be overshooting that a little bit. He might get 10% off.
Ooh, and then my cheap instincts kick in, and I'm like, haha, you thought I was going to crest a jersey. I'm getting $250 worth of socks.
So
I got to have socks forever.
You gonna make the trip?
Which one of you guys has a helicopter's license?
Well, because you must be driven there, of course.
I could take the train.
Yeah?
I could take the train.
That'd be
I
hard.
would take the train.
Then you gotta get off at Mimico, and then.
I've never gotten off at Mimico. Is it a nice station?
No. Mimico's the worst station
Is
in the
it
world.
really?
It's really not.
Yeah, because
Wow.
it's not really meant to be a commuter station.
But the
meant to be-
store is gorgeous.
No, Mimico's meant to be the drop off for the rail yard, which is where the trains sleep at night. At Willowbrook. I used to work there.
Okay,
Yes.
got
also, where David Clarkson was born.
Etobicoke, yes.
No, the train station.
Literally.
Literally, he was right there.
Wow.
Nice.
Do we know that? Are we just making stuff up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
sure.
okay, cool. I just
Do you
wanna make
imagine?
sure. All right, hey, by the way, I want to say this before we get into the games for the last couple of nights. The SDPN bracket had over 8,300 signups. So
Wow.
it's pretty fair to say that the SDPN bracket is one of, if not the most competitive playoff brackets in the world. And I think that's pretty cool, considering this is the first year that we've done it in-house.
And we need to do a big shout out to the 47 people who picked the Sens to win the cup. Out of
47.
8,300.
Did Julian pick them to win the cup?
He must have.
Yeah, I know he picked them to beat the Leafs.
He did.
He's the only one of the SDPN crew who picked the Sens to win.
He did, which I thought was a bad omen. Until last night.
Well, it's one game.
It is one game.
I want to pull it up. I want to pull it up so that we can see what everybody on the SDPN team picked. Because now we can take a look at the leaderboard, right?
Yeah.
And we can have all of the staff picks, and you can follow along. Steve, did you reveal who your cup pick is?
Yes, but people need to understand the strategy. So my cup final is Leafs, Avalanche.
Okay.
I have the Avalanche winning. No, wait. No, wait. Uh-oh. You don't understand. This is Drew's worst nightmare. This is his kryptonite.
Why?
Every year, I pick the Avalanche often, actually. Like, since COVID, I think I've picked them, like, this might be the third time.
Right. Why, though?
They're really good. But this year, I picked them because I know Drew hates it when I pick them.
So
They're also really good.
We have the first round matchups for everybody on the SDPN team.
Yeah.
Up on the screen. Which ones surprise you the most? Which ones are the least shocking?
CJ going Oilers, I think, is surprising. CJ going Oilers is a big one. Nobody picked the Montreal Canadiens.
Habs are the only team no one picked.
And Justin Fisher picked the Devils. And I just think...
I also picked the Devils.
Oh, or is that you?
Yeah, you're both.
There's me and Justin.
Get a display picture.
Yeah, I need to get a display
I
picture.
friggin'
better
have one,
than us.
but I don't know why mine's not loading.
Oh, yeah?
I think
Oh, yeah?
there's an error with it because, like, usually it's the letter.
Yeah.
So I think my thing might have errored out because I do have one.
I'm going to get my display picture going. CJ doing that. So is that Nick? Who's the N?
Nick Andrade.
Nick Andrade.
Producer Nick of
picked the
CJ
Blues.
Yeah,
too.
there he is.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a lot of, in the first round this year, there is a lot of like heavy favorites. I think more so than in other years. And it's like, seems like every series there is sort of an odds-on favorite, with the exception of the Kings Oilers, which is a little bit more split, as you saw.
I mean, it's fascinating, right? You have a team that clearly should be favored, and they're also the team that's lost 3 straight years.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's
one
tough.
of the teams was just in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, no, they're going to lose, including myself and the other 2 people sitting here.
I have both Stanley Cup finalists missing or getting eliminated first round.
I think we all do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's
We're
that's
probably wrong. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say we're probably wrong.
And you know what?
on
The
that
great thing
front.
is that not all of them have played yet, so we don't even
That's
know.
right.
So tonight I'm going to be streaming the Montreal Canadiens, and I'll be doing the Montreal Canadiens throughout, which I think will be fun and exciting. And, you know, depending upon how long they last and how long the Oilers last, when the Montreal series is over, if it ends before the Oilers wins us, I'll just pivot to the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
So that's
What are you going to do if Canadiens game falls on the same day as the Leafs game?
That's going to be a bit of a
What are
problem.
you
I don't
gonna
know.
do?
Well, I can't do a stream at the same time.
I think we might have to start a new hashtag.
Is that what we
you
do?
can.
No, we have a new hashtag.
What's the new hashtag?
Habs fan Adam.
Oh.
He
wow.
would rather watch the Canadiens than the Leafs.
That's
I
also
don't
an
know.
old hashtag. It's just Adam getting back to his roots of being a Habs fan. Come on, ole, ole, ole. Come on. Blue Blanc et Rouge. How's that Duolingo streak going?
I want UP.
Are you?
He's gotta come to the studio.
People who are tuning in to Canadiens Capitals Adam Wild tonight,
Yeah.
are you rooting for the Canadiens?
I am leaning Canadians. Not just because they are Canadian, but because they are the underdogs. And you got to lean on. If you have no skin in the game, you gotta cheer for the underdog a little bit.
So Canadiens fans who are tuning in tonight,
Yeah.
they can expect a Homer broadcast.
I don't think you can expect a full Homer broadcast. If the Caps do something awesome, I'm going to be like, that was awesome. I have to.
Who's your favorite Hab of all time?
Favorite Hab of all time? Doug Gilmour.
Who's your favorite Hab of all time who didn't play for the Leafs?
Didn't play for the Leafs. That's a good question.
I know.
Eric Cole.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
100%. Yes.
Okay.
Out of all humans.
No. I think you know what? Because I've interviewed him and I never even saw him play. But Ken Dryden.
Oh, I was going to say, you interviewed Eric Cole?
No, Ken Dryden. I interviewed Ken Dryden with Alan Walsh.
Got it,
so I think
got it,
Ken
yeah.
Dryden, Ken Dryden's stat line is the most insane stat line in the history of the NHL. It's goofier than Gretzky.
Okay, liberal.
But
Sorry.
so I'll go.
He was
back.
a liberal.
I'll go Ken Dryden. Yeah,
Like,
he
literally
ran for the Liberal
a
Party.
member of the party.
All right.
Ran? That man was in office.
Oh, was he in office?
He sure as shoot was in office.
There you go. Yeah,
He had more
Who's your
ties than he-
favorite Canadian of all time?
My favorite Canadian of all time who never played for the Leafs? That is a good question. Let's go Patrick Waugh.
Oh, good one. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was unreal growing up. And there was always an aspect of, well, at least he's Canadian. Like, at least when there's international tournaments, they had those.
He's one of us.
He's on our guy.
yeah.
He's our guy.
One of us.
Man,
Yeah.
isn't it funny how much how all of our opinions of Jordan Binnington changed now that he's won the fourth?
You know what?
we love
him.
Jordan Binnington.
Never said a bad word about
Almost
Benner.
forget, yeah.
I challenge you to find us ever saying a bad word.
No, you can't. It's not on the internet.
Jesse, who's your favorite Canadian that never played for the Leafs?
For a long time, it was PK Subban. But his post-playing career and his broadcasting it's making me reflect on his playing career.
Okay.
And how much I want to champion him.
Are you holding space, or are you not?
No,
holding
I'm
space?
not holding.
You're not
space
holding any
for
more
him
space
anymore. Because
Wow.
he's got that ESPN panel. I don't think is doing the greatest right now, and he's like him and Mess. I don't have the best chemistry in some of his takes. So, and like Subban's my answer because of the ruckus he caused in Montreal, just with having a bit of personality. But his post-playing career he's knocked down a couple pegs.
Yeah, Subban's a good one. I thought it was very funny yesterday, the clip I saw where Subban's going, "This isn't a penalty," followed by footage of a very obvious penalty.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
kind of
PK, what are we doing here?
What I'm referring to. I'm glad you brought that up because that was one thing I saw online. Yeah, it was like, why are we calling this in the playoffs? Like, this isn't a penalty, but it was a penalty, and it was just a clear
He's
call.
the king of the right take at the wrong moment. And there are
No, that wasn't the right take, though.
But no, that's what I'm saying, though, is that I agree with him. His general consensus pick on that was let the guys play in the playoffs. And the first 2 or 3 games of the playoffs, the refs are always too tight with the whistle compared to what they'll be in game 4.
Yes.
Like, we talk about the Leafs game last night very quickly here. The amount of penalties called then, if we get that amount of penalties called in games 4, 5, 6, and 7, if it goes that long combined,
They'll be fine.
I'd be shocked.
Oh, combined.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yes.
crazy, right? They put the whistles away. So I understand what he's saying, let the guys play. But, like, that's not the time to apply that take. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Save that
don't
take for something
clip
else.
a blatant penalty that a ref is looking at and then say, why are we calling this? Like, that didn't make any sense. And he does that pretty often, I find, with his opinions.
Yeah.
I think, like, a large reason he's in that role is because, he's one of the few hockey guys who's out there and has
Big personality.
Great personality, but it doesn't mean his takes have been great at all.
To me, it was a clear example of conflating what penalties are. I know this guy played in the NHL, like he knows what a penalty is, but like, oh man, that's soft. What? It doesn't matter if he shoved him to the ice or broke his stick over his spine. It was an infraction that altered possession of the puck. Like if the Sens got a scoring chance off of that and buried it, I think we'd all be within our right to lose our mind.
We would lose our minds.
Yeah. And I think they got it right. I mean, of course they got it right.
Right.
I don't think I converted any Sens fans with that one. I don't expect that to happen.
You're not converting any Sens fans this year.
No, we're all silly about our teams. It's okay. I don't hold anything against them.
Even in that instance, I don't think he was arguing whether or not it was a penalty. I think he was just talking about should they call it. Like,
Yeah.
we all know this is a penalty. Well, why are you calling it in the playoffs? Like, no.
Because it's still a penalty.
It's a penalty, and the ref is looking at it, and it affected the play, and he should call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if his broadcasting ability should affect my opinion on him as a player, but they have. Because now we're in the same industry, and I guess we're coworkers.
And now we're talking about
Now you're coworkers.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
coworkers. SDPN, ESPN,
Same.
Same thing, guys.
Same budget.
Same thing.
same budget.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk a little bit about the fact that tonight we're going to get some first games of the first round, and then we're also going to get some second games of the first round. So the Canadians and Caps are playing tonight. The Oilers and Kings are playing tonight, but we've already seen the Blues and Jets, and we've already seen the Avalanche and Stars, and they're all playing tonight.
Yeah.
So
Blues Jets was awesome.
Blues Jets was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great game, open all the way, and I thought what was amazing about it is St. Louis looked so good until they didn't, and it's not because they fell off; it's because Winnipeg said, "No, this is our game now."
Kyle Connor, in a game where his team needed a goal against Jordan Binnington. Can you think of any other teams who could have used that this year? I can't.
No.
I personally cannot. I'm never letting that go. That was the dumbest
We
decision.
can tell.
It was the dumbest coaching decision of the year, and it wasn't even in an NHL game. It was really bad. Really bad, really dumb. Also really bad. Also really dumb.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done it.
Absolutely.
But, it was very funny to me. Like, I knew exactly what was coming at the end of Leaf Sens, because of the end of Blues Jets. Like that game was tight. Jets pull ahead by 2. All right. Now the Blues are just going to get their pound of flesh and leave. It was just like line brawl after line brawl, scrum after scrum. And I'm like, all right, well, Leafs are up by 4. It's about that time.
Yeah.
They started breaking their sticks over, guys.
The Avalanche steamrolled the Stars too.
Buddy.
And by the way, I asked Drew about that. I was like, how do you feel about that? That must feel good. And he's like, nope, doesn't feel good.
Yep. Job's not finished.
Job's not finished.
I understand. No, it's one game. Like, listen, your team's up 1-0. Hooray for you. Everyone should be happy. Blues Jets was tight. Stars Avs was kind of a rout. Leafs Sens was kind of a rout. Oh my God, Carolina running over New Jersey. It hasn't exactly been tight.
But
Vegas Minnesota was a little better.
You get that in game 1s though.
Yes, you do. Leafs, I keep saying this. Leafs beat Tampa 5-0, lost the series, lost like 7-4 the next year, 7-3, and won the series. So it's game 1.
Yeah. If you're ready for the NHL playoffs, BetMGM, official sports betting partner of the NHL, is a place you should go. Now, Jesse's got some of the best prop bets available today, and I kind of love these.
So under the NHL futures section on betmgm.com/dangle, they have a bunch of fun little playoff props for the playoffs. I'm going to go through them, and you guys are going to tell me which ones you would bet on.
Okay.
Stanley Cup winning nation, Canada or the USA? The USA pays out 1.42 times your money, and Canada is basically 3-1.
I mean, Canada's the fun way to go there.
And it's a higher payout because it's less likely.
Yes.
Now, it's tricky, though, because I assume you're picking your Canadian team. But if your Canadian team were to get eliminated, now all of a sudden you're cheering for, you could be cheering for, I don't know, someone you hate.
The Jets. The Jets, Sens, Oilers.
Well, imagine you're an Oilers
Canadians.
fan, and now you got to wholeheartedly be like, let's go Jets.
That's
Or let's go Leafs.
because I don't think anybody.
that?
That'd be
You
worse.
know?
That'd
Yeah.
be worse. I don't even think that's how. I know Canadians are like, yeah, we'd love to have the cup back in Canada, but it better be my city.
Is that hedging, though? Your team gets eliminated, but a team that you don't like wins, but at least you get paid.
Yes. I mean, because you can't listen. I know lots of people do. If you're betting, in my mind, you bet with where you're most likely to win. You're not betting with your heart. Right. You're not betting on what you hope is happening.
So
right?
who are you taking, USA or Canada?
I'm going USA.
Okay.
This is why I'm $2, Steve.
Steve, who are you going
Too
with?
emotional.
Yeah. Well,
Steve, who are you going with?
now I'm emotional too.
Steve, who are you going with?
Canada.
Okay. Next, Stanley Cup winning conference.
Oh.
Almost 2-1 your money. The East is a little bit of an underdog to the West.
I go East.
I
going
would
East?
go. Oh God. Oh, I can't bet again.
That's one of those ones that is such a coin toss. I just go with the one that has better odds.
Because the thing is,
No, the West has better odds.
Undoubtedly.
The East is an underdog.
No, sorry. The biggest payout.
Oh, you like the underdog?
Yes. I like the other.
Yeah, okay.
So I undoubtedly the West is better, but I wonder if they'll tear each other apart, which is why I'd go East, right? Like they're gonna it's Colorado Dallas first series. You're like, oh my God, this is these are mean series.
It's
and
about-
then it's like, oh man, Colorado Dallas is over. Now we're gonna see Vegas and
We're going into the spiral.
Which
Oh no, but
conference
the East is
gonna
mean
be-
too.
Yeah.
Which conference is going to be healthy by the time the Cup final rolls
Yes,
around?
yeah.
Neither of them.
I don't think I think there's one team currently in the playoffs in the East that are as mean as Vegas, Colorado, some of these other guys, and that's Florida.
Yeah.
But everybody
If they're
else
healthy.
they're not yet if they're healthy.
We haven't
Who are you
seen them
taking?
play yet.
I'm going West.
And Steve?
East.
But I didn't make the bet, so I would never get betting
Original
against
6 wins the Cup this year. Yes or no? Yes is 8 times your money. No is you win 10 cents on a dollar.
So Leafs, Montreal.
And that's it. That's it.
You know what? Take it. Take it. Because it's 8 times. Now bet with your heart.
Only 2 original 6 teams. Oh, wow.
So would I get a better payout if I just bet on the Leafs?
No.
Really?
To win the Cup?
What about if you just bet on the Canadians?
No.
Okay.
I can tell you. The Stanley Cup winner for the Leafs, 8.50.
Okay.
The Canadians. The Canadians are 67-1.
Honestly,
67.
I'm not.
Oh yeah,
taking that
what
one.
am I talking about? Yeah.
I'm not taking that one. I'm just going Leafs.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the way you were thinking was the correct way. Like you should just put money on the Canadians to win the cup or the
Leafs.
Leafs to win the
So
cup.
I'm going Leafs.
That's what you should do. Yeah. Okay. Let me just scroll back down. The winning division.
Oh.
That is tough.
Atlantic, Metro, Central, Pacific.
So I think the Atlantic had a representative in 2019, in 2020, in 2021 they had two, in 2022, in 2023, in 2024. You have to go Atlantic.
I think you do.
They didn't win all those years, but they won some of them.
You're also getting Florida, Tampa, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa. You get like 5 teams. It's pretty good.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, if you want to, you can check it out right now. There's tons of great props right now at BetMGM.com. Go to BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Please play responsibly and check out BetMGM.com/Dan. Hey, do you ever stink?
Oh, all the time.
You ever want to not stink? You should try Mando.
Oh.
Mando's great, and it's great for places like the pits, the balls, the thigh folds, the belly buttons, the butt cracks, and the feet. Places that are known to stink.
And it's also vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, and aluminum-free as I'm reading the package.
And paraben-free, baking soda-free as well.
Get rid of those parabens. I've been saying that.
Legitimately, parabens, not a thing that you want in your shampoo or in your body wash. It's actually really bad for you, so it's kind of great. Now, whole body deodorant, it's safe to use anywhere on your body. It was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. So it is clinically proven to block odor all day and control it for up to 72 hours. There are so many things that you can try, but we want to give you $5 off a starter pack.
Wow.
So you can give it a shot. Solid stick deodorant, cream tube, and 2 free products like the deodorant wipes that Steve is holding up in studio right now, plus free shipping. As a special offer to our viewers and listeners, new customers for Mando get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code, and that exclusive code is SDPN. That equates to 40% off your starter pack with the code SDPN at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence head to toe with Mando. Talking about the Leafs last night, Jesse was inside. Steve, we had to delay the stream a little bit. We had some internet connectivity issues. We tried to get the pre-stream going. We're working on that. So what'll happen tomorrow is that Steve and Drew are going to stay home, make sure at least that you guys are able to get to air. We're going to try a pre-stream down here again, make sure our internet's all connected and that sort of thing. And you know what happened, honestly, is it's like you're just overwhelmed with the amount of signals in one area all at one time. So it does happen, but we'll sort out the tech issues. And obviously...
we're pretty confident we got to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, that the thing is that the first time, it's like the first day of school, you feel a bit awkward and weird.
Yep.
And so when we talk about the game, I got 2 guys that saw it from a completely different perspective than I did, right? We saw it here. I saw it with the crowd, which was awesome, and they were amazing. Everybody stuck around and watched and that sort of thing. Jesse, you saw it from inside the arena, and you saw it from the first play. And the first thing I want to ask you, because there is a video going around right now of Oliver Ekman-Larsson's goal.
Okay.
And that was the first goal that went in, and it kind of let Leaf fans breathe a little bit because they scored a goal and they showed up and they looked like they started on time. Okay. The reason that this particular clip is going so well or is making so much online is that they're saying, hey, listen to how loud it is in there.
I didn't know what you were going with about the goal.
Why is everyone... all right.
Listen,
I don't understand why people are surprised.
Well, because, you know, and it's funny because it was game 3 last year. Jesse and I were at that game with in the Scotiabank box. And...
didn't they get killed?
Yeah. And then Joe Bowen tweeted, I can't believe everybody's so quiet. I'm like, yeah, man, they lost.
Suck, dude.
They lost that game. It wasn't good.
Stink.
And so last night, though, crazy enough that, you know, everybody calls it a funeral home. It's a big giant cave or whatever. It was loud, Jesse.
No, it's an anxiety box, right?
No, not last night. Like the passion was alive and well. From the moment the puck was dropped, there was Go Leafs go and the rally towels. The rally towels really help things. You know, when you give people a thing to do and they're like, ooh, here's the thing I can
We're all
cheer.
just children.
We're literally, when we go to a sporting event, we're just all children. We yell for T-shirts. We swing our towels and all that stuff. The rally towels were awesome. They started from puck drop. And yeah, as soon as that goal was scored and then Mitch Marner follows it up and 2-0 Leafs halfway through the first period. Like, the crowd was so into that game. And like, I love the fact that we got like Brady sucks chants. There was, I don't know if this came through on the broadcast, but there was Allmark chants multiple times throughout the game. Those were a lot of fun because you don't see those at all during the regular season. Like, that's not something the crowd is doing, but during these playoff games you can tell that they're engaged,
right?
And that's where you get the crowd noise from, is when they're locked into the hockey. There's a couple instances too where players got round of applauses from the plays they made on the ice, like when Matthew Nyes blocked the shot and went to the bench. When he crawled back to the bench, the entire audience stood up and applauded because they're watching the game, they're into it, and they're passionate about everything that's going on. The atmosphere in Scotia was great. Like, Leafs fans were number one when things are going well. But last year when Bowen's tweeting, like, get off your hands or whatever.
Get off your phones.
All you suits. Well, the team was down by like 3 goals.
Yeah, that game 3 was bad.
They were looking like they're going to lose this thing. Like, what do you want the crowd to cheer for? But
it's
when they're up,
box.
it's good.
It's quiet between the pops. But the pops I would put up against anybody's.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out, down at Maple Leaf Square, they were like throwing jerseys and shirts and stuff. And there was like a Odell Beckham type catch. But he like landed on a guy. And when he got up, I was looking, I thought there was going to be a fight for sure. It looked like a fight, but they just dapped each other up, and one guy got the jersey and the other guy got, I don't know, maybe a bruise or something like that. The vibes were great.
If you're going to Maple Leaf Square, you should expect somebody to step on your toes or run into you or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the...
It's packed in there.
Yeah.
I want to shout out the guy who waved at us with a shark head for some reason. He was wearing a Leaf jersey and a shark head in Maple Leaf Square.
Somebody,
I don't know why.
I was sitting where Jesse's sitting right now, and somebody took a picture down there and was like, "Hey, big fan of the show," and DM'd me the picture.
Oh, you gotta show me that.
If you want to see here, I'll send it over to Jesse.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
So
I was wondering if anyone.
So I just took a picture of the crowd and sent it back. It said, "I see you too."
That's awesome.
Yeah, here I'll show you. I'll just send it over to you, Jess. It's it's very, very cool to see that atmosphere again. I love this, and it kind of makes me it made me excited that we got finally a Game 1 win. I just texted it to you, Jess. Finally got a Game 1 win.
3 and 8 in 11 attempts in the Matthews era.
That's crazy.
3 and 8 Game 1s.
You know what else is crazy? Can
What?
I just throw this stat at you guys? This is from Sportsnet Stats. Linus Ullmark in the playoffs. 3 and 7. A 382 goals against average and an 877 save percentage. Travis Green says, listen, this guy's won a Vezina. I like our goalie.
I mean, yes. Someone was asking me already, like, all right, who do you go for Game 2?
It's Linus.
You just signed this guy. Like, first of all, he was amazing for you in the regular season. You just signed this guy. I think he needs at least Game 2, and I kind of think even if he sucks in Game 2, you got to give him a home start. Like, I don't know if we're going to see another Sens goalie in this series, unless he gets pulled mid-game.
Do we want to? I mean,
if we're who?
If you're Ottawa, I mean, well, if you're Ottawa, that's a bad sign, right? But yeah. I think...
Well, because the other discussion among Sens fans is, if Ullmark isn't the goalie, is it Forsberg or Merrilainen?
Right, because they don't necessarily trust Forsberg.
Well, Merrilainen was straight up better.
Yeah.
This is a crazy conversation to me because, like, wasn't that the argument for people thinking that the Sens would make this a close series and everything? Is that the goal? They have Ullmark, and then after 3 periods of hockey, people are saying play Levi Merrilainen.
Well, there's 3 goalies who are obviously very good goalies, but have some playoff demons in their past. And they've all played already. There's Connor Hellebuck.
We were on Fraud Watch for a minute. We'll come back to that.
Buddy, like, he wasn't very good.
No.
They won.
Couple of softies.
Wasn't very good.
One of them I don't even blame him for. The one where they were really close in. I don't blame him for that one.
Yeah. Markstrom. They got outshot to oblivion, but that guy's got a bit of a tough time in the playoffs. Linus Ullmark, I don't know if he's played enough in the playoffs for it to be a thing, but we are very quickly approaching it being a thing.
He doesn't have a long playoff rap sheet.
No, he doesn't.
Swayman played the majority of those games, did he not?
Yes, and the Florida series
almost got 9 career starts or something.
9 or 10. The Florida series, when he was in Boston, where Florida came back, he was also injured, very clearly injured, and they should have gone to Swayman sooner. I'm willing to give him a mulligan for that, but he probably should have had at least a couple of those last night.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I 100%. But I don't think, I think he should have had a few of them. But, I don't think it's cause for them to go to Carolina.
No.
The defense
I think that's crazy.
was not good enough in front of him to warrant that.
Okay, so why is it a conversation?
Well, because I think people overreact.
As
generally.
Sens fans, man.
Yeah.
I would love to know from Sens fans, because to me, from the outside looking in, you got this goaltender for this. You said we're going to win the goaltending battle in this series, and after one game, you want to play a guy who's never played in the playoffs?
I don't think they move off him.
No.
I don't think they move off
I mean, it would, just from a managerial perspective too, imagine you're Steve Stais, okay? And this is, again, it's one game. We saw as Leaf fans, and I'm going to just tell you all about the goaltending we've seen, where Freddie Anderson would go from, I let in 6 goals to, I stopped everything.
Yep.
Game to game.
Yep.
And Linus Ullmark can do that. And this is where I think you got to, we do, I mean, listen, the whole point of this is to overreact. That's what's fun.
It's the playoffs.
But, I can't imagine if you're Steve Stais at the end of the season and Linus Ullmark hasn't played every playoff game, unless there's an injury. That is going to be a really tough question to answer, right? Because that is a big contract. Yeah, and they'll be like, well, but what about the playoffs? And it'll be like, hey, man, we got to the playoffs. We got there. First time in 7 years, we got there.
Yeah.
We'll figure the rest of it out.
Yeah.
I do want to throw out there, you said Markstrom. You talked about Markstrom's, playoff demons.
He got shelled at very least.
Do you know what his save percentage was last night?
It was probably pretty decent. It might have been over 90.
It was .932. He let in
what
3 goals.
Jake Markstrom?
.932 save percentage last night.
They had a million shots.
And a million shots.
Yeah.
He made 41 saves of 44.
Yeah, I don't think Markstrom was the reason they
Oh,
lost
did he
that
only
game.
allow 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he allowed. Oh, so he was the only reason they were in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, never mind.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
I thought he allowed 4. My bad.
If you look at the advanced stats from that game, by the way, there's nobody. New Jersey just didn't show up.
The Hurricanes have 2 games.
Yeah.
Outshoot your opponent into oblivion. Win. Also, outshoot your opponent into oblivion. Lose.
Yeah, the Hurricanes look good on any course sheet forever because of how
Every
they
night.
play. That's just how they play.
So when the Oliver Ekman-Larsson goal goes in, how do you think? For me, I sensed a confidence thing and a game change for the Leafs right from that goal, because there are playoff demons on this roster, but there is also a lot of playoff success. And I'm talking about the guys they've imported. I'm talking about Chris Tanev. I'm talking about Oliver Ekman-Larsson himself, who won the Cup last year. Stollers, Lawrence, excuse me. And Brandon Carlo has seen
All
lot
the guys
of success.
from the same team.
All the guys from the Florida team. Scott Lawton has been a valuable member of the Flyers when they make the playoffs, and he had a good game last night.
Yes, he did.
There seemed to be a lot more. It's not ego. It's just we're going to be calm. We're going to go to work, and it's business.
Composure, poise. I mean, what didn't you get in the regular season? You didn't get any offense from your defense. He scores the first goal.
And Riley scored one.
And he did. He did. But I'm talking about just the first goal. So you're like, all right, check. Got a guy from last year's Stanley Cup winners. He gets the first goal. Check. You score the first goal of the series on home ice. Check. The goal makes one of the X factors of this series, the Sens goalie, look beatable. Check. That's a feel-good goal. It's a really, really good feel-good goal. Matthews ripping one would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or one of the...
Well, Marner ripped one next.
Yes, he did. I don't know, as a Leaf fan, what you're not feeling great about after last night. It was one of those nights where, like, I don't know if they could possibly replicate it. Like, it's the playoffs. You're not going to have everything go your way
every night,
all series, and definitely not back-to-back nights, but everything went their way.
I think going into that, you're talking about, like, hey, they got all the Stanley Cup winning players on there and some veteran presence, but I'm looking at Matthews and Marner and Nylander and JT as the vets in this series too, and how much experience they have losing and going through this playoff thing, because the team they're going up against is so unbelievably young in terms of the stars that relying on. The Leafs are the vets who have all the experience in this series. It's not like the Leafs are going up against Tampa, who has all the trips to the Cup final. This is a team that doesn't even have trips to the first round. The Leafs have trips to the first round. They know how to handle the first round, and you're going up against Tkachuk, Pinto, Batherson, Grigg, Stützle. Like, those are the guys who are the core of that team. Shabbat on the back end.
Very little.
Like, and that's who they're relying on, and those guys have zero experience.
Yeah, all those Leafs that, they've failed to get it done in the first round except for once. They've all played like 50, 60 playoff games.
They know how the playoffs work at this point.
It wasn't, again, we don't talk about the Leafs like a normal team because over the last decade, nearly, the Leafs haven't behaved like a normal team. They haven't won and lost games like a normal team. If this series was between two normal teams, we'd be like, hey, one of them has like no experience. Feels like we should be putting some emphasis on that. And last night, the Sens showed why we were foolish to ignore it.
Something that I wish people would just start doing with this year's team is talking about them like a normal team, because they haven't shown any instances of those demons.
But how can you talk? How can you really do that?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can't really do it. But when you're looking at it, there needs to be some perspective in that this team has not shown anything that any of the year's past teams have shown.
Yeah, we'll see.
They might creep up at some point, but they haven't shown evidence of that yet.
Yeah, not yet. But they were definitely the more composed team. The second period that kind of did the Sens in. I'm trying to remember all the penalties they took, but if I'm not mistaken, it was all guys playing in their first playoff game, except for Adam Gaudette, who played 10 games with the Canucks. But it was during the COVID bubble, so this was his first playoff game in front of people.
Which matters.
Which does matter. So
it was Stützle, Grigg, Gaudette, Batherson, Tkachuk.
All of them.
Like,
every single one of them.
Babies.
Tkachuk and Lawton took each other off, so I didn't count Tkachuk. But all of them first-timers, except for asterisk.
And I thought, like, that was the large reason the Leafs won last night, was immaturity.
Yes.
The Sens weren't ready from a perspective of, like, you can't just play this reckless game where you're going out there and taking all these penalties, because this Leafs team isn't the Leafs team of old, and they're going to be able to take advantage of the Sens' poor penalty kill.
Well, and I think Travis Green said the Leafs got away. By the way, I want to hear what your thoughts on Travis Green's presser was yesterday. He said, because he had some spicy quotes. He said, "Well, the Leafs sold a lot of calls. They sold." And when there's a way that you say it in the playoffs, John Cooper, if he were to say the same thing, John Cooper would be a lawyer about it.
He's a maestro.
He'd find a way to compliment the refs. When Travis Green comes out and he says, "Oh, they sold a lot of calls," you're embarrassing the refs. You're saying the refs were not smart enough to catch the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I thought it was very interesting how many people pointed out how much he sounded like Sheldon Keefe.
Yep.
He did sound like Sheldon Keefe.
And, love Sheldon, but he's clearly a great regular season coach, obviously. But, man, when the pressure ramps up, like the guy, he's one of those people who he just radiates nerves.
Yeah.
And he has two modes: vibrating silently and purple. And last night, Travis Green was vibrating silently.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many games until we see purple.
I don't know. I have it up here if you want to play it. Travis
Sure,
Green
yeah,
post-game.
let's play it.
Yeah, we can just play it there.
Ready to start, or How do you see how your team performed?
I thought maybe the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we were a little nervous, which is probably to be expected. Got a lot of guys that haven't played in the playoffs. But 5-on-5, I liked our game.
I thought that was a surprising comment because I thought they got outplayed a little. And
So-
I thought the Sens played better at 5-on-5 when the game was kind of getting out of hand. Like they were down by 3 goals and then 2 goals, and it's like, you guys are looking good, but you're chasing the score, and the Leafs know how to handle this situation up 3 goals, up 2 goals.
The Leafs' regular season numbers, I think part of the reason they look so poor is they're up a lot. They have the lead a lot. Now, I would love my team to dominate all game, every game. That's generally just not how it works. And Dom Lecision pointed out after the first period, it was shots on goal for the Sens are 13-5, and he goes the shots, and he shows a map, and they were hucking garbage.
Everything from the outside.
Yeah.
Everything from the outside.
And that's the way I would be so much more concerned if I didn't watch the Leafs play that way and win that way for months. Like
82 games.
I'm not. That's so many games. Like I'm not trying to be like watch the games about this, but when it comes to the playoffs, the world shrinks, and there's half the teams that there were yesterday, and I'm seeing people look at the numbers and they're going, "Well, here's why the Leafs are paper tigers," and I'm like, "You don't watch them."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying you don't know puck or none of that. It's like, listen, I could look at the stats for like the Wild or something like that. That doesn't mean I watched all their games, right? Like maybe there's something I'm missing there, or maybe there's something I'm missing about this team or that team. This is the way they play.
Under Craig Berube, they've played a completely different game than what they played under Sheldon Keefe. Like it's not the same type of hockey.
Yeah.
And the results that you're getting on the stat sheet or the advanced stat sheet are completely different.
The great games that they played down the stretch where I called this out many times. Teams put it on from the point. They try to get it through. It doesn't get through. Leafs clear it. What did they do all night last night?
Same thing.
Block, clear it, sticks in paths. The 2 goals the Sens did get were actually breaking through all that.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's their strategy all series long, I think it's going to be tough for them.
Back to Travis Green.
Travis, with all the penalties, was that a case of being undisciplined, or was the standard maybe unclear to the guys?
Who was that?
Cute journalist.
Someone cute. His voice sounds cute.
We definitely have to stay out of the box. I'll say that. At the end of the game, sometimes things are going to get a little out of hand once in a while. I thought there was a couple calls that they did a good job selling. But it's tough. It's tough on the refs.
Tough on the refs.
Because I thought that was a direct shot at the Leafs, right?
I thought it was a direct shot at the refs. I mean, when you say, oh, they were able to sell it. So the one time I think Sheldon Keefe won a media battle was when it was the Tampa series in 2023.
Yes, he did a great
and he
job.
said, you got to give credit. This is when Matthews and Stamkos fought. He said, you got to give credit to the Tampa Bay Lightning because that's a veteran team and they know how to draw you in.
Stamkos, that is the most hilarious snapshot of the Tampa Bay Lightning ever. Stamkos, he has Matthews' collar in one hand and he has his other hand out talking like, oh, bibbity bobbity at the ref while punching Matthews. He's pleading his case to the ref while punching the guy, and then they both fight. And then Matthews is dragged to the box. And if I'm not mistaken, the Leafs were losing that game. So Stamkos, who can't play a lick of defense, draws the best goal scorer in hockey into the penalty box. Mission accomplished.
Right. And that's what Sheldon meant.
Leafs ended up winning. But like that, just a hilarious snapshot. And to me, it was like playoff, knowing how to manipulate playoff officiating in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
So,
but you got to know how to talk about it in the media. And that's what John Cooper has, and we've seen this in the couple of series that the Leafs have played him in. Like he's a magician. He's unbelievable.
Oh, he's very, very good.
And you can tell, listen, refs are human beings.
Yeah.
They like him.
Yes.
He's a really likable guy. Keefe was, I'm sure to people, very likable. Like I never liked Sheldon Keefe more than that one video where he's like, guys, it was a real pleasure being here. And like you said, and he floated off into to heaven.
Flying away in Maple
the
Leaf
beautiful
Square.
sunny day in the lake, and he flew away. Like,
Man.
and you're like, man, but
A literal glow up.
when you see him on the bench, he's purple. Like you
purple.
mentioned, and he's screaming at the refs.
Yes.
And after a while, the refs probably like, I freaking hate this guy. Like, I can't stand him.
There's no way. There's no way refs looked at their. I mean, I'm sure they already get stressed when it's Toronto, and it's Sheldon.
Sheldon Keefe. Yeah. Yeah.
Steve, there's your screenshot.
He's talking to.
He is talking to, like, look, the ref is in
Matthew's got a fighting major for this.
they do keep fighting after this, but
Yeah, it's called self-defense.
yes, but Stamkos was able to goat Matthews into a fight while also chatting with the
I'd love to
referee.
know if I can't remember if Stamkos got an instigator. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he probably ought to have.
I don't think he did.
At least we're down 3-2 at this point in the third.
They did win. though.
They
I
did
think
win that game, I believe.
Yeah. So
Dude,
hilarious.
so funny.
Yeah.
Now, here, let me address this to satisfy Sens fans. They seem to have a problem with two calls in particular.
Okay.
Number one is the check from behind. I think it was Stützle on Tanev. That's the one we already talked about with PK. I don't think it was the hardest infraction in the world, but it was an infraction that led to a change in puck possession that could have led to a scoring chance, that could have led to a goal. And I think Leaf fans would have had every right to be mad about that if that had happened. The other one was Gaudette getting Matthews
yes.
in the Sens corner. Now, they were laying the lumber all night. Oh, actually, no, there is one more, and I'll get to that. They were laying the lumber all night. And sometimes, like, I've heard stories of refs going into a room before a playoff game and just being like, I'm not calling anything unless it's a murder. Or I'm not, like, a ref said that verbatim, I was told. I'm looking out for tripping tonight. Or like watch your sticks. Watch your sticks tonight. None of the, you guys want to get into that after the whistle, whatever. Watch the sticks tonight. The Sens were not paying attention to previous calls in the game. Like, Stützle gets called for what he did to Tanev. All right. Gaudette's not paying attention. It's a similar play. It's a very similar play. I saw someone be like, oh, Matthews is 220 pounds. Yeah, he's also skating fast into the corner and got pushed directly into his pelvis. Like, that's going to make you fall down, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The other one that I forgot and Sens fans were calling a dive was, I think it was Batherson, a clear cross-check to the back of Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Ekman-Larsson covers his head. So that was the one where I was like, he could have been accused of selling, but it was, who was it on Twitter? I screen grabbed it this morning. OG Treliever.
Oh, there's a name.
They pointed out, so I don't know who this senator is. Is it Perron? I'm not sure who it is. Anyway, so Ekman-Larsson gets hit to the ice. The Sens have the puck, and they have a player closing in. Now,
The cross check on OEL was by Batherson.
It was by Batherson. There you go. So the player is closing in. While OEL is down, he doesn't know if that player is about to shoot the puck. So he's covering up in anticipation of a shot. And then when you see him peek up, he's like, oh, shit, because the play had moved down. So I think he was just covering up to not get hit in the face with a puck or get hit in the back of the head with the puck like Jake McCabe had done earlier this season. He missed some games. So I know I'm a Leaf fan. My biases are obvious. I'm very upfront about that. I understand their beef with a couple calls, but I still think they got them all right.
Yeah, and I think the important thing you said in that was that the Sens didn't look at how the game was going to be called at all. Like they kept doing the same things. That the Batherson one on OEL, like Batherson comes from around the side of the boards near the goal line, and he cross-checks OEL in the back of the head.
It's a dumb penalty.
The play's not really there. No. You know, he's not affecting the play at all. It's just out of nowhere, I'm going to cross-check him. And we saw like a period and a half's worth of hockey where they're calling cross-checks.
Yes, and
he said,
Sens,
I'm going to do this random cross-check in the middle of the ice when they're calling cross-checks?
Yes.
That's immaturity.
And the Sens, again, would have gained a net front advantage out of that. Like, what are they supposed to do? Just let it go? You know what real good playoff teams do? The Bruins used to do this to the Leafs all the time. The net front scrums and neutral zone bullshit. They would wrap you up in neutral zone bullshit all the time.
Coincidental minors.
Coincidental minors, but like they'll let you get away with stuff if it's away from the play. I don't think Batherson OEL qualifies as that because even though the puck is nowhere near them, it's about to be.
Yeah.
Right? The neutral zone is a little different. Like there's one from the 2013 series that doesn't get talked about enough. JVR gets UFC elbowed in the face from the ice. Like he's wrapped up with the guy. They're laying down on the ice. How'd they get there? I'm sure it was clean. And just wham! And the Bruins would clean the Leafs clock every series with that. The Sens were just doing it right in front of the refs every time. The refs are also creatures of habit. And they love establishing a precedent with young guys.
What did you think about the Ridley Grigg, John Tavares major that became a minor? So it was a cross-check. It hit him in the head. They call the major.
Yep.
And then as they're right to do, they review it. And they go, you know what? It's only 2 minutes. And I heard Steve on the show go, on the watch-along go,
That's unacceptable.
that's unacceptable. It's in his head. Now with the benefit of sleep and hindsight and not being in the game, do you still think that?
Yeah. It's really dumb. I saw someone accusing Tavares of diving. Like
For that?
guys. Oh yeah, he popped up real quick. Like when he realized it was a penalty. Like what? What are we doing? Like okay. This is an unfortunate example. Like listen, when Nyes got hit by White Cloud, we whined and complained about I want someone to explain why this isn't a suspension, right?
And they did.
And they did. And it was great. And I was actually kind of like, oh, okay. I understand it. This is an unfortunate situation of we're just going to have to shut up and eat our slop. Because I would love an explanation for why that's 2 minutes and nothing. Like 2 minutes and no fine, no suspension, no nothing. What? Like, okay. I saw some Leaf fans comparing this to Riley versus Greg. No, it's not the same. I would love to tell you it's the same. No. That was after a goal. Riley flew in at the speed of light. I'll hear the argument that Greg was defending himself from a player who was coming at him. You still can't throw your stick up, and it was like the way it was like Riley and Greg is he hit him in the shoulder and it rode up. It's a penalty though. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes for cross-checking. I didn't
he got
mind
him in the
it.
Face.
I didn't mind it because the suspensions that we've seen for the riding up to cross-checks, like the Matthews in the outdoor game.
Darlene on top.
Yes, that was bad.
On Darlene, the Riley one.
That was really forceful.
Those ones come with where the player is enacting some sort of retribution.
Yes.
Where it's like, we're in a physical fight. My response to you pushing and shoving me is I'm going to whack you in the face with my stick.
It wasn't an instinctive reaction.
Right. Yeah. This was more in the field of play where things are going on, and this is just a regular-ass cross-check to the top of the body that rode up.
I thought
that's how I kind of saw it.
Clevin on Domi at the end of the game was worse, to be honest. He just gets two hands up and luckily didn't cross-check Domi right in the face. That was inches away from a suspension, like a multi-game suspension.
The Batherson OEL one that we just talked about, I think it's kind of the same as the Ridley Grigg one, except it's just from behind of the head instead of to the face.
Yeah.
So I don't think they should have given him a suspension. I think would have been way too far.
Yeah,
I could
I'll
have
agree
seen
with
5. Could have seen a double minor. I know Berube was holding up. I think it was 2 fingers.
Yeah, I thought it was a double minor, but I was
Yeah.
okay with them even taking the major away.
Yeah, I was fine. I think 2 minutes, fine. They called all the other cross checks. That's cool. It was fine.
And they're not going to call them in game after game 3.
Yeah.
Like none of this is happening after game 3. So whatever they reffed last night, it ain't ever going to happen again.
I mean, the Sens played like the underdog. This is, I mean, geez, it's literally an episode of Shoresy. Like, they're not going to be the same after that game. They don't like the lumber. And that was the mission of game 1, the lumber.
Can you do a good Shoresy?
No, I can't.
You were like half in there. I heard you.
Yeah,
heard you
I
trying
felt
to get
you-
there. but
I
you
gotta
didn't-
work on
You didn't
it.
want to commit. It sounds like you
I got to work on it
it.
because I don't want to embarrass myself.
No, you gotta work on it a little.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to embarrass yourself on this show.
No.
That's never happened. And you know what? Let's keep that streak alive.
I feel like you're Shoresy in the way that you got to take a big poop before games and in between all the periods. Are you that way?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
important.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Steve would be late for his first shift because he'd be pooping.
Yeah, but I would bring it on the second shift.
All right.
Steve, I think you'd enjoy this story from morning skate yesterday and post game on game 82 because we talked to Chris Tanev, both of those times. He spoke in both of those instances. And I think this isn't something that's common with Leafs players in the past. But Tanev talked about how he was watching the game where Robertson got injured because after game 82 we asked him like, it's so weird out there, you know, it's the game, your game doesn't matter for anything. He's like, yeah, you know, you got to stay healthy kind of thing.
Jason Robertson.
I saw. Yes,
Sorry, I
yes.
was like, I'm racking my brain.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I should clarify because there's two Robertsons.
Yeah.
He says like, yeah, I saw the Dallas game last night where Jason Robertson got injured and all that.
Former teammate.
And then Sunday morning, after optional skate, he talked again. And somebody asked, like, hey, so you see any playoff games the day before? And he's like, yeah. Saw the Winnipeg game and watched that and saw how they're calling everything that game and that sort of stuff. And I feel like that's not a common thing amongst our Leafs players in the last few years.
Be still my beating heart. I'd die.
But they have Chris Tanev, who's like, yeah, I watch the games. Yeah, I'm paying attention to what's happening around the league because there might be some precedents there. And he watched how Winnipeg, St. Louis played out, where they were calling everything. And Chris Tanev and the rest of the Leafs went into the game against Ottawa last night, and they were not the immature ones who were cross-checking everything. They let the other guys do that because they're vets, and I don't know if it had anything to do with watching the games before, but Chris Tanev admitted he watched the games before, which isn't something we hear from our Leafs players.
Imagine not doing that. Like, these refs aren't just like rogue mavericks out there, but they're literally like they have a leader and a directive that goes down to all of them. Like, of course, it would make sense to check out a couple things from around the league and be like,
No.
like,
do you not feel like in past playoffs, guys have been like, no, I don't tune in anything, head in my own boat.
I'm blocking out the noise.
That's
I'm blocking out the. But to me, it's like showing up to class
It's
and
called
ignoring your
research.
professor and being like, you know what? I'm just gonna block out the noise and take this exam, and then you fail it, dumbass, because you ignored the professor. You ignored the lesson in front of you. You stupid idiot.
I love hockey players who watch other hockey.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It shows they're passionate. It shows they care about the game. It shows that regardless of whether they're in competition themselves, they're a fan of this thing. And I loved hearing that from Chris Tanev multiple days.
Also, I just want to say that I think that there is a I think that there are guys like that's one of the answers I believe them on. When they tell you, oh, I don't read the media reports, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, someone in your family does, and those quotes come back to you.
Read it actually more than everyone else.
Yeah,
when you say
you read it, you know why? Because it's about you. Like, of course you would read it more, right?
Yeah.
But for in terms of watching hockey, when they tell you they don't, I believe them, and I don't think that's great. I really do think
I'm judging you.
You nailed it with the Tanev thing. Like, it's like just go and see what the refs are doing, and go see how the other teams are playing and how that works for them. It's such a neat. What a solution!
You know what? I'm just blocking out all the noise at driver's ed, and I'm going to ace this road test.
Hey, I'm blocking out all the noise at the gun range. I'm gonna
Good luck.
Jeez.
They wear those things, you know?
Tell your coach that. You know what? I'm taking practice off. I'm just
blocking out the noise.
Hey, Chief, I'm just blocking out the noise.
I don't know.
Guys.
You can learn so much from observation.
Yes.
No
Just
way.
From like strictly
Jesse,
watching the
stop.
best in the world do it. And then you can also learn from the refs because they're all kind of the same. They're all kind of calling the game the
you
same.
know what?
Hey, this coach is doing this. But what if we tried it? No, I didn't see that game. I was blocking the
Guys,
noise.
So I was too busy blocking out the noise yesterday, but it says here Leafs won 6-2. Welcome to LFR.
Steve, why didn't you watch the Leafs game? But you're doing it
I
on
was
a
just blocking out the noise. You know, like I was blocking out the noise 4 rum and cokes deep to block it out extra. What are we doing?
All right, so I know we're having a good time here, but Anthony Stolarz is not participating in practice.
Okay. Oh, okay. As long as we're talking about stuff from last night's game, Ridley Gregg 200% meant to do that.
Yes, he did. For sure he did. And on
Berube alluded to it.
what was hilarious? Oh,
Yeah,
he did, because it was hilarious on the broadcast. They're like, nah, you just, he said, sometimes you catch an edge.
Stop.
Or you lose an edge. They said you lose an edge.
Who
I was
said
like,
that?
Whoever was on I think it was Chris or Craig. And
wow.
and I was like, I'm sorry, gentlemen.
No.
This is Ridley Gregg. Of course he didn't lose an edge.
He torpedoed he drove the net. I think if he scores, it's a bonus. But he went in there to hurt Anthony Stolarz intentionally.
And by the way,
100%.
Luke Fox was told it was just rest for Stolarz. So
Yeah.
I believe him.
yeah, see, none of you freaked out. I was hoping for a little bit of a panic.
No,
That's good.
Nope. I'm telling you, this year's different. This year is different. I'm behaving different. Also, if it's not Stolarz game 2, it's Wool. The only reason they had any kind of presence in the playoffs at all last year.
Yes.
I'll live.
By the way, Justin just texted us, Stolarz out for rest according to CJ. And he's like, oh, never mind, LOL. He's like, tweeting,
Justin, who's
don't
sitting-
blow the surprise.
Justin!
Who's sitting
Don't
over
blow
there.
the surprise,
Yeah.
Justin.
I know you're blocking out the noise of the show going on. Just a few feet away.
He's trying to get to me so I didn't report the wrong thing, which I appreciate. But
No,
Justin,
that's important.
you can't group text us. I'm trying to scare Steve, all right? Let me scare
I'm not letting
let me
you.
scare him.
I'm not letting you. I know it'd be more fun.
Speaking of the broadcast, Bieksa in the intermission, because I was watching the intermission, and Bieksa did a fantastic breakdown of the Marner goal, which I think spoke to just the whole narrative of the veteran team against the rookie team. Because he talked about how Marner cheated for offense because he can do that because he's Mitch Marner.
And he also has the speed to get back.
Exactly, and like he can do that because of who he is and because of his abilities in skating. And the puck was going down to the goal for the Leafs along the boards. And if Matthews able to get that puck, Marner's already out of the zone. And Marner saw that, and he wasn't looking because Bieksa had up the play, and Marner's facing up the ice, and he's like, I don't know if Matthews is going to get this puck that's going past my shoulder, but if he does, I'm already at center ice.
Right.
And it was a blind play by Mitch to just chance it, and Matthews did end up gloving it down, getting it on his stick, sending that awesome sauce to Mitch, who's already at center ice, and gets the breakaway and the goal. And those little things is how you win hockey games and get goals, but like the ability to take that chance halfway through the first period in game 1 of the playoffs is something you're not doing unless you've been there before.
Yes.
If you're out there for the first time ever in a playoff game, you're not like, I'm going to go to center ice with a blind pass that's going past my shoulder. I don't know what's going to happen. But Mitch has been there.
Well, and
Mitch
here's
has done this.
Here's my question.
It's cool. I'm excited for this team.
Listen, not to bring up the summer, but when you are
geez. I didn't wanna
when
go
you are
there. What?
talking about chemistry, right? You can't just rebuild that elsewhere. That is something that only develops. These guys have been playing together of the 8 or 9 years they've been with the Leafs. Like only in the Babcock years were they forbidden from playing together.
Right.
You're not gonna find it that quickly or even that deeply with someone else. I'm just throwing that out there.
If we had some sort of
You might wanna
magic computer that could compute how many minutes they've spent together on the ice, if you include practices, training camp,
wow.
games, all of that through the last
Through the last two off
honestly,
warm-ups.
Yeah.
for the last decade of their lives, you can't recreate that.
You'll never find that again.
You
And
know?
that's why it I think it makes sense for both sides to keep it together. But
Dude, look at
it's game 1.
Look at Mikko Rantanen.
Oh, I know. And I do want to get to some of the other games, but I want to talk about very, very quickly here. I think that's, with Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Nylander all had multi-points last night.
Sick.
Now, that isn't going to happen every game in the playoffs unless it does. And I would be, listen, I am not one to be upset about that. But if it doesn't, what you ideally need is 2 of those guys to do it every night. 2 of those guys to do it. In a tight game, 1 of them. But that's a pretty good start for all of them. They're all on the board. They all have points. They all feel good. That's a great momentum thing.
One thing I left out in why the OEL goal felt so good, we didn't know he was going to play.
That's right.
Until day of.
Yeah.
I really like what Craig Berube, I almost said Sheldon Keefe, what Craig Berube did with the bottom 6, and I think it allows the top 6 to be better.
Yeah.
That Lawton, Yarncroke, Lorentz line, yeah. Yes, please. Give me more of that, please. To me, that's the third line.
Yeah.
I think we're just
semantics. Interestingly, Holmberg is at practice today in the top 6. He was switched with Domi yesterday mid-game.
In a defensive role.
Holmberg's play has come on of late, I would think. And I think his stock has gone up with the coach who was scratching him pretty regularly at the beginning of the season.
Holmberg?
Holmberg,
yeah.
What do you think he's going to bring to that Tavares Nylander? And why do they want that to work?
He's got to be heavy. You're on home ice, right? So I guess he wasn't loving exactly what you were seeing out there with Tavares and Nylander. They were maybe more muted than the top line, which I thought was everywhere. But Willie and Tavares did their damage on the power play.
Yeah.
Right? How much time are you even going to get together at 5-on-5? And Domi opens up the offensive capabilities of McMahon and Robertson. So I liked their game. Robertson in particular. I watched a hit compilation this morning. Robertson's 2 biggest hits. Of course I did. I rode the train.
Hey, you know what? Nick Robertson hit compilation. Let's go.
Yo,
that's great.
He played
threw the
2
body last night.
board-rattling hits on Montemapalo, who is 6'3", 220.
And a Four Nations face-off member.
Four Nations face-off member.
You forget.
Robertson's friggin' 5'9", $180, 70. And they were nice hits.
Oh, yeah.
So that's great and all. But I think you need to be a little bit more of an offensive factor there. So swapping Domi and Holmberg, I think, does just enough to the lineup to tie it together a little bit better. On home ice. I don't know if I love it on the road.
Garrett Monk at the end of the game calling out the penalties, I think, was amazing. Nicholas Robertson.
That was funny.
Adam Gaudette, Michael Amadio, Max Domi, Simon Benoit, Matthew Highmore, Bobby McMahon, Nicholas Montemapalo, Brandon Carlo, Tyler Clevin, Matthew Highmore, and Nick Robertson again. So every penalty before the second Nick Robertson is a roughing. Robertson also got 2 for high sticking, and the penalty that nobody knew that the refs called was Nick Jensen at the end of the game. He got called for roughing, but they called it at
on
literally
home,
20 minutes,
wasn't it? Why isn't that an automatic fine?
Just generally, because you can do whatever the hell you want at the end of the game. It doesn't matter. Oh, the ref called a penalty. Oh,
just 2-hand slash, guys. What's the problem?
Truly,
what are you going to do?
It's a bit of a hack.
Suspend me for that? You're going to suspend me for that? Grow up. No, I'm getting my free lumber. What incentive is there to not do that?
I don't think there is one.
Did he have to
right.
sit in the box? Did they make him get undressed late?
No, they didn't.
Well, then. So what happened then?
Sorry,
nothing happened.
You don't get a Gatorade bottle until
he didn't even have to serve it.
No.
Or it doesn't carry. How about this? It's a playoff series. It carries over to the next game. Oh, you don't want that? Well, then don't stop breaking the law.
Tim's retrospective rookie cards are back in stores. And, you could get young Sidney Crosby. You could get young Brent Burns, pre-beard, when he was still a forward.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota forward.
Okay, so
you got to say Minnesota in a Minnesota accent.
Minnesota!
Is that
Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like-
I was doing it
Is
like
Minnesota. Are they loud in the Midwest? I don't know.
Joe Biden.
Oh,
Never seen that. Minnesota.
I think I hit the jackpot.
Oh, what'd you get? What'd you get?
I got Mr. Tim Hortons himself from Cole Harbor, Nova Scotia. Sidney Crosby.
Hey, I like that.
I thought you got a Tim Horton card.
Yeah.
Oh, when you said.
I do want to say that.
Never seen the commercial?
Yeah,
with him and Nate?
the Sid and Nate commercial's funny with the
very
mullets.
good.
It's good.
Very good.
It's good.
I got in the books. This is an insert, October 19th, 2021. This is a Lucas Raymond card. He scored his first NHL marker in the third period of Detroit's 4-1 victory.
I got an Adrian Kempe rookie card / current year card, and the only
Very
thing that
underrated.
changed about his face is that his hair got longer. He just looks like he's flying in the wind.
And the Kings jerseys got exponentially better.
Oh yeah,
The diagonal shoulders, boo.
Way
Boo
better.
and hiss.
Way
No,
better.
They're way better.
And listen, Mario Lemieux, Doug Gilmour, Nathan McKinnon, Jonathan Marchessault, Claude Giroux, by the way, because the Leafs are playing the Senators.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you can check it out. Download the Tim's app right now, or visit your local Tim Hortons and start collecting their new retrospective rookie hockey cards. Every pack features current and retired NHL and PWHL players from their rookie year, plus the chance to win prizes like autographed jerseys. Peloton is where you need to achieve your fitness goals, no matter where you get. Steve, are you Pelotoning right now?
Yeah, I'm on the bike.
You're on the bike. Where are you cycling through
More
today?
like you're
Shanny.
skiing as opposed to riding a bike.
No, wait.
No, you're doing good. Oh, there. That's a little better.
Okay,
I'm doing a climb. I'm doing a climb. I'm going through the streets of Edinburgh.
I have a question for you.
What?
Do you stand up and ride?
Sometimes.
Or you say, okay.
They tell you to.
Yeah.
You
The
are a
instructors
little
tell you to.
stand up and pump and.
Yeah.
It's sometimes you sit, sometimes you stand. It's good to get the variety in there because you're working your muscles a little.
I don't know. I pictured you as like an all-time sit guy.
Oh, well, that's because you think less of me. And I find that unkind.
There is a variety of challenging classes, from 4-week strength building classes to running, indoor and outdoor workouts. You can challenge yourself anywhere in the world. Just bring your app with you. Get stronger. Peloton helps you get stronger with strength classes throughout, with workout generators as well, personalized programs, and Peloton Tread and Strength Plus apps. Yes?
The people aren't going to be happy with the subwoofer going. You
No,
really
they're fine.
don't care.
They're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine. 3, 2, 1, and take it down.
Find your push. Find your power with Peloton at onePeloton.ca. All right, let's talk a little bit about. I want to go back to Dallas, Colorado, because we did a quick thing, but one of the things that has been the question between these two teams, and obviously with Jason Robertson out, it kind of stinks for Dallas.
Yeah.
But they have other people that can score. I mean, ultimately, we talked about Dallas like this is probably one of the deepest, if not the deepest, forward cores in the NHL. Mm-hmm. And you need to be able to, when you lose one of them, that should mean something that you can replace.
Yep.
Something that you can manage, right? Maybe not replace fully because it's Jason Robertson.
No.
So my question is, what's going on with Mikko Rantanen, or at least do we need to ask that question after game one? Is it an adjustment? I mean, he was scoring at more than a point a game clip with Dallas as soon as he got there.
Yeah.
It's been a season of a lot of change for him, and it's got to be tough playing your old team too.
For me, I'll get to Rantanen in a second, but what we've talked about with the Dallas Stars is their defensive setup or their D-core setup being similar to Tampa's when they won back-to-back cups. Your right side is 3 random men. Your left side is elite. It's really, really good because you got Heiskanen, Harley, Lindell. Because the right side is so weak, you lose one of them, and it's the best one of them in Miro Heiskanen. I think the whole house of cards falls down. You got to play those guys together. I think they did for a little bit. Can't remember exactly what the time split there was, but it makes it really hard, especially when you're going up against Makar, Taves, and a really strong supporting cast there. Manson back. That makes everything difficult for Dallas, all things equal. And all things aren't equal because Mikko Rantanen is a man out there. He's just another guy. And it's shocking to watch. I don't think this is going to be the rest of his career.
Or maybe even the rest of this series.
It might not even be the rest of the series. No, because he did start to bring it on with Dallas. And I'm sure, Robertson, you build up chemistry and then you take Robertson out of the equation and that adds unrest to everything. But it's not even him necessarily. Like Pete DeBoer has to do a better job here. But how do you, I don't know if you can moneyball this. How do you recreate Nathan MacKinnon in the aggregate?
Yeah.
The Dallas Stars have some really good players. Who do they have who's that? Does anyone have who's that? I think there's two guys in the league. It's McKinnon and McDavid. Guys who are... I don't even think McDavid is like McKinnon because McDavid might be a better skater, but the power of McKinnon is such a distraction defensively that Mikko Rantanen was taking the most wide open shots from the right side of the goalie every night. And he just doesn't have the ability to do that anymore. And it's not his fault. It's what's around him. We shouted this out when it happened. When the first trade happened, we're like, oh man, Carolina adds Mikko Rantanen. And we're just looking at it in terms of numbers. We're just taking his however many points and plopping it onto the Hurricanes and going, damn, that really ties the room together. Sebastian Aho, as great as he is not Nathan MacKinnon. So who do the Stars have? Is it Hintz? Hintz is really, really good. There's another guy who's really, really good. It's not Nathan MacKinnon.
Jesse, thoughts?
Pierre LeBrun's covering the Avs Stars series, so he's been producing some interesting stuff out of that. And this first article today was a Matt Duchene kind of retrospective on him facing his old team because Matt Duchene is OG Mikko Rantanen. He has beef with the Colorado Avalanche, and now he's on the Dallas Stars. So he asked Duchene, he's like, did you talk to Mikko about what it's like leaving the Avs and playing here now? And he said, I talked to him a bit. I think we all deal with it in different ways. I just said to him, hey, if you need to talk about anything, let me know. I've been through it. And he talked about how Rantanen played that first game back in Colorado well. But I think it's such an interesting perspective for Rantanen because clearly there's something there with going up against this team. It can't just be
and that's
neutral.
Your first playoff game too.
It's your first playoff game and it's up against these Avs. It can't just be any other game. We know these games aren't any other game, and I wonder if him struggling in that first game, because I don't think he had a good game at all in game one.
No.
Everything, the cobwebs are kind of out now. Everything's out in the open. I can regroup for game two, and if he comes back for game two and he has a better game two.
I'm not saying there's beef, but I don't think it would be wild if last year when the Avalanche are going head-to-head against the Stars, a bunch of those guys are looking at Matt Duchene and going, screw that guy.
100%.
So, the idea that Duchene would be like, hey, so, you and I have, we're the same. We have a common... No, we don't.
Oh, you think it's different?
If I'm Mikko Rantanen, I've programmed myself... how Michael Jordan always made up conflicts? I, as a member of the Colorado Avalanche, over the years would have convinced myself... Matt Duchene kidnapped my children and was holding them ransom, friggin' taken.
Yes.
He's your enemy. He's your enemy, and for years and not just an enemy, he's a traitor. And we got better when you left. You stink. And now we're teammates. And hey, Matt.
But Mikko is the same.
No, he's not.
You don't think so?
Matt Duchene forced his way out of Colorado.
Yeah.
And he's got the picture to prove it. Mikko Rantanen. I almost wonder if what happened with Matt Duchene informed the Avalanche on what to do with Mikko Rantanen. You know what? This guy's being a bit of a pain. I'm over it. Trade him.
I don't think the specific circumstances are the same in that. One was clearly more contentious, but Nathan MacKinnon looking at Mikko Rantanen as the enemy now has got to be daunting. And in a similar situation, I think, where Duchene is facing, where it's that's a team that hates me with a passion, and Mikko Rantanen's sitting there and he's like, Nathan McKinnon doesn't like me.
Well, yeah, and he was broken up with. You got to remember that, right? And I think now he was threatening a breakup.
Yeah.
But sometimes the person that it's like, well, what do you want to do? Just break up, and then the other. You don't expect the other person to go, well, yeah.
Well,
and
Adam, how's your acting?
it's probably bad, but let's try.
I need you to be Nathan McKinnon, okay?
Right. All right. Cool.
All right. Chickpea pasta.
Yeah.
Just all the way. Okay.
No chocolate bars till the off season.
There you go. Till the off season. He doesn't have them in the off season.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Ever.
Nate. Yeah. No. Nate. We've traded Mikko Rantanen. How does that make you feel?
I don't feel.
Damn. That was. But are you sad?
No, I'm angry.
Oh, so you're angry.
Yeah.
About it. Would it make you less angry if Gabriel Landeskog came back?
Way less angry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, we traded for Eric Johnson for some reason. It's mostly just to make you feel better. How do you feel about that?
I like Eric Johnson. He is a good person. Also does not eat chocolate bars during the regular season.
There you go. Do you remember who this conversation even started with?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
going to go pass the puck to Martin Nietzsche now.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
Okay,
Jack
great.
Drury.
Yeah.
There you
Like,
go.
and we'll go get Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
Like, he's fine.
The Avalanche were like, "Hey, no, look over here, look over here."
Yeah.
Like
it's all
friggin'
going to be fine.
jangling keys
Yeah.
to get his attention, and
With
it worked.
Good hockey players are on the key.
Yeah. Charlie Coyle.
Do you guys feel better? Switching gears here. Do you feel better now?
Yes.
Hayden, our producer, Hayden Matheson, is a huge Minnesota Wild fan, and he felt like in our previews for the playoffs that we disrespected the Wild, and Wild fans got on us a little bit in the comments too. They're like, "You guys don't understand. Like, our guys were injured. Our guys were, we were one of the hottest teams in the league in the fall, and they were." And
Yeah, what's the calendar say?
Man,
So-
that I'm here to tell you, that doesn't even kind of matter.
That's what I'm like, what?
Dude, the fall, we're talking, this is a Leafs fan here. We're talking about the fall.
So
Have
what is
some
the argument
pride.
for them? That we should have given them more?
well,
of
that
a
we should have
chance
given
here?
them more respect. And I just wonder, do you feel any different now, having watched
No.
Vegas take it to them last night?
Yeah.
I mean, it was close.
The Wild are
a good team.
better than I think we gave them credit. But
Oh my goodness.
it's Vegas. No, give me a second. It's Vegas. Like, it's
Playing both sides here.
No. It's not about Minnesota being bad. It's about, I don't know.
People from Minnesota not hating you.
Yeah. It's Hayden's not from Minnesota.
Hey.
It's difficult to just jump back in.
Right.
And also, like, Vegas is really good. Vegas would, I think, best case scenario for the Wild is no one gets injured at any point this season, which, like, I don't know. You have Kirill Kaprizov. Isn't that kind of built in to your strategy? Is this guy gets hurt a lot? But if no one gets hurt, this is one of those bloodbath first round series. This is what we all thought Dallas, Colorado was going to be.
Yeah.
But it's not best case.
If Minnesota is Minnesota from the fall, playing Vegas from the fall or right now, then the series is completely different. I'm probably favoring Minnesota with how good they were.
Well, Philip Gustafson was
Like-
crazy save
Yes,
percentage.
Kaprizov was runaway Hart Trophy winner.
He was my heart
like,
pick.
Number one, guaranteed. Both of us picked him at Christmas during
Yeah,
our
because we
our
didn't know how long
pre-recorded
he was going to be
episode.
out.
And
Shoot.
if that's the team that was in this series, I'm favoring Minnesota.
But you don't
That's
think it is.
not the reality of
not
this
the team.
They spent a whole season. Everybody's in and out of the lineup getting injured, and now they're not very good.
They're tricky, right? Like, you look at their roster on paper and you're like, okay, well, what? How many did I say they lose in? 5? I might be wrong on
Yeah,
that. But, like,
yeah.
it's different circumstances, and it's Vegas. It's nothing against the Wild,
No.
all right?
Nah.
But, like, I have a hard time seeing Vegas not get it done. Of all the game ones, that one was the one with a playoff-style whistle, I thought, or the most playoff-style whistle in that death was legal.
The New York Rangers are doing locker cleanout today, and
baby.
and of all the teams not in the playoffs, I think they're the most interesting one. And I'm going to read you a few quotes, and I want to get your reactions, guys.
Interesting.
So, first one from the guy that's the best player and highest paid on the team, Igor Shesterkin. In my mind, something broke during the season and went the other way. We couldn't handle it. It was our job to find a way to get back.
Interesting.
And-
I thought they did, is the weird thing. I really thought they did.
I thought they would.
There was a moment where they got it back on the rails. I think they even were in a playoff spot for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, it's going to be difficult for them to like lose this.
Yes.
They're going to be fine. Like, and they dug themselves out of quite the hole.
They
They
did.
were like bottom 3 in the league for months, and they just lost it again.
The next one,
Okay.
Chris Kreider. There's so much that happened this season
Yep.
that you can almost forget what a mess the Rangers sort of were. And so, do you remember the Chris Kreider trade memo?
Oh yes.
When it went out to 32 teams, who wants Chris Kreider? And everybody was like, no thanks. And it said, so he was asked about it today. He said, it wasn't the first time. Won't be the last time. That kind of stuff comes out. That's part of professional sports, unfortunately. Luckily, I don't have any social media. I wasn't really aware of it until people close to me brought it to my attention. See, it's always friends and family that bring it to your attention. Just try to show up and do your job to the best of your abilities. What kind of answer do you think that is?
A vet, a frustrated vet who I don't think he wants out. Do you?
Well, he said, they asked him. They asked him.
They asked the fucking guy.
Yeah, and he said, this is home for me. This is the organization that gave me the opportunity to live out my dream. I've developed so many incredible relationships and grown up and spent so much time in this area. So obviously this is where I want to be. And this is the group I want to help in whatever fashion win hockey games. Will he be there?
I think I would buy Chris Kreider stock.
Yeah?
He'll be healthier next
Well,
year.
if his back is not falling apart, probably
Yes.
a lot better.
Yes. I mean, he was literally devoid of playmaking ability this year. He could still score, just not at the same pace. Who knows? Maybe he has to reinvent himself.
He's also got an Olympic team to play for.
He ain't making the Olympic team.
No, he doesn't have that.
No, if
If he gets on a tear in the fall, maybe.
he made the team based on his reputation for Four Nation face-off, and he would have to be way better than he was this past season to make Team USA. Like you have the option to bring Chris Kreider and Matthew Nyes.
Yeah.
Who are you bringing?
Yeah, Matthew Nyes is probably going to be on Team USA. Yeah.
Guy almost scored 30 goals.
Yeah.
And like had playmaking ability and ran through everyone and wasn't broken and.
Yeah. Matthews Nyes kind of makes a lot of sense for Team USA.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. It just does, right? Like you'd put a playmaker on their wing, whoever it is.
I think Kreider will probably still be a Ranger come next season because I don't think the market for Kreider is that hot.
That contract's going to be tough.
Yeah,
for
no,
teams
like
to
how do you
follow,
get
yeah.
rid of him?
Yeah.
Like who's really banging on their Rangers' door saying we need Chris Kreider in our lineup and we're going to give you something of value for him? You know, if you're just going to trade him for pennies on the dollar, you might as well keep Chris Kreider and hope that he can turn it around.
Every time you're like, what team is going to be weird enough to all of a sudden my phone lights up and it says the Canucks and Predators are calling?
Honestly, the Preds might do it.
Yeah, they might.
They asked
might.
Kreider, too, about the offseason. Barclay Goodrow being forced to waive his no trade, otherwise be thrown out on waivers. Jacob Trouba's situation and how those impacted the locker room. Here's what Kreider had to say. He said it's part of professional sports, but obviously at a certain point it becomes somewhat of a distraction. Two guys that were massive leaders for us and a big part of our room. I just think there was this dynamic and it's changing the environment like that. Not even to get into the personal relationships we all had, what good people they are, things that they did. It was certainly challenging. And to follow that up, Mika Zibanejad said, I feel mentally what I went through in the first few months was probably the toughest I've been through in my career.
Wow.
So that really, really affected the dressing room.
You know, it's strange, right? Like, part of you can praise the Rangers for being cutthroat. Like a lot of teams have had who have had the most success in recent memory have been very cutthroat.
Sure.
But like you got a GM who's a former player and ought to know the ins and outs of a locker room and how this all works. I'm surprised. It's almost like he leaned too hard into it. It's like
A little too Vegas? Like Vegas does that to one guy.
well, like
one guy a year, you're off the island now. It's like Survivor.
Yeah, no, with the Rangers, like, and it was the way they went about it too. Like this was extra cutthroat. Like whatever the letter of the law is, we're gonna follow that human feelings be damned, right? And this is your captain too, not Barclay Goodrow, but Jake Trouba. Were they decisions that like helped out the team's cap situation? Sure. But they very obviously sacrificed an entire season to get it done.
Right.
I think it speaks to the nature of the organization and what a kind of a mess it is, just in how shaky the player group was, and the coach Laviolette, who got fired since we recorded, I believe,
he has.
didn't have the locker room at all, and the way they played games, and that they'd be kind of in games and then they'd lose it completely for a couple minutes and they'd be out, and how they had chances all season. Like, I feel like from the organization, MSG themselves is kind of, it's not very well run from a military standpoint, where you're expecting like, this is what we're going to do, this is our ethos. Like, they seem just chaos at all times.
Can I also say something in defense of Chris Drury?
Okay.
If he disagrees with any direction that the Rangers go in, we're never going to know about it. And the reason we're never going to know about it is, do you remember how he got his job?
How did he get his job?
He got his job because the Rangers did something ridiculous and sent out a statement that got the team fined $250,000.
Yes.
Because they were upset about Tom Wilson and the Washington Capitals. And the GM and the president, if I'm not mistaken, it was John Davidson and
Jeff Gordon.
They made it known, like, hey, we had nothing to do with this. And word got back to James Dolan, and James Dolan said, off with the both of your heads. If the organization tells Chris Drury to jump and his response is not how high, he's gone too.
Yes.
So if he disagreed with the direction on any of this, we're never going to know about it. And if we do know about it, well,
It'll be because he didn't
Chris
tell
Drury's
all.
available.
All right.
Yeah.
And you look at Jeff Gordon, who left for the Canadiens, who has done a fantastic job with the Montreal Canadiens as their
Sure has.
as his role, executive vice president, I think. He's been
Something.
So it's been fantastic, and like, he built a lot of what the Rangers, who then became the President's Trophy winners and had all these deep runs in the playoffs, he built that, and then now he's done a great job with the Canadiens. And you wonder if like, if the guy at the top, James Dolan, was a little too eager to get rid of him in that moment. It's same with David.
It was
Davidson.
emotional. It was very
and it feels
nakedly emotional.
And I feel like that's what this season has been. It has been a season run on emotions, and I feel like that speaks to how the guy who owns the team run, and how he has controlled the president, Chris Drury, and general managers run it, and how it led to Peter Laviolette running the locker room, and how the players now feel, where everything's driven by emotion, and I'm up and down because of everything that's going around them. And I think the whole thing is very poorly run.
You see the report that apparently Dolan was like involved in locker cleanup?
That's insane.
Like,
Well,
or it was, I think it was with the Knicks, but he also did it with the Rangers.
And
I shouldn't say
involved
that.
how?
All right.
Like he was present.
Like to talk to the players?
Yeah. Or to at least hear them out.
That's okay. That's
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind
He
that.
owns the thing.
I mean,
As
yeah.
long as he shut up, like as long as he didn't do the talking, you know what I mean? Like, I
if
mean,
you're there to listen, I think it's one thing.
I know
mean,
it's his team, his money, but
you do pay for it, so I
Yeah.
think you're allowed to.
That's fair.
yeah, but
Once
when
a
has
year.
that ever led
Not
to a
insane.
good situation?
Oh, there's plenty of owners that have gotten involved and it's been good situations. The Bus family are a perfect example
at
at
that
the Lakers.
micro level.
Absolutely, yeah.
Macro and micro mean the same thing.
No, micro is small, macro is big.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Do big and small mean the same
Ever
thing?
not know the definition of a word and you don't bother to Google it?
Yeah.
Every
Yeah, yeah.
time people say macro, I'm like, I don't get it, and I haven't bothered to Google it. I don't know.
I'll look
I
it up
assume
for
they
you.
weren't the same thing.
Macro.
I don't think we need to go further into
It's like
this.
regardless and irregardless. Right? It's the same thing.
Inflammable means flammable. What a country.
What a country.
Irregardless is never necessary to say,
No, it is
because you
not.
can just
But
say
it's a word
something
now.
is regardless, right? Regardless of that. you don't
Regardless,
say irregardless.
irregardless is now a word.
All right.
That was a perfectly fine sentence.
It means large scale and overall macro.
Got it.
Yeah,
But
I
micro,
think we know macro and micro are
Well,
different meanings.
we is a general term.
Yeah.
Jesse, I think we need to.
Speak for yourself, word knower.
Where were we?
I
Do you
don't
have
know.
More quotes from
Rangers.
cleanup?
No, those are the good ones. I mean, there are like, it's like, do you want to hear about Zach Jones playing himself in and out of the lineup? Not really.
I do.
No, you don't. You can read.
Give me the Zach Jones quote.
You can. He said, obviously, it's disappointing, and I'll get on it next year.
Why did you tease that?
Well, I didn't. I said they weren't good quotes, and then I told
Adam,
you that
why
we
did you
don't need
hype
them.
up the Zach Jones quote?
There's a lot of I'm just here so I won't get fined vibes from these guys.
Do you like that
Calvin
I
DeHaan is obviously
gaslit
pissed
Adam
off.
about the Zach Jones?
Like Alex Lafreniere saying he's disappointed in himself and expects more. I don't know. Like, it's cool, man. That's great. I think everybody got what they wanted. They wanted to hear from the vets, and they wanted to hear. Tell me about last summer, boys. We've been waiting all year. We've been waiting all year for this. Throw us our meat.
Now wait a sec. We're all missing the mark here. All the European players on the Rangers have yet to go home.
And give interviews there. Yeah.
Once they do,
Expressin', baby.
yeah,
Keep your eyes on
Expressin',
Expressin'. It's a Binajad. It's coming.
the Russian one, whichever one that is. Do they have any Czech players? Oh, things are going to get spicy.
Alan
once
probably
they take that
represents
flight.
them
Yes.
if they do.
Yeah.
Does he have any guys?
My question with the Rangers, in all honesty, is who the hell coaches there?
It's a good question.
What kind of coach?
Okay.
So I think you got to have you're not an X's and O's coach at the Rangers at this point, because even guys like Lafreniere and K'Andre Miller are old enough that they know the X's and O's. I think you need a guy who makes you feel good about yourself. It's clear this team has some talent.
Am I wrong, or did was Spencer Carberry not available when they were looking for?
He was, yeah.
I don't know why he chose Washington. I mean, we know he was.
I don't know that he was ever interviewed by the Rangers. I don't know that he wasn't, but I don't know that he was.
I just remember.
Turn your microphone towards you a little bit there, partner.
Yeah.
No, I just remember talking to someone who ran, I think it was Ryan Mead of Blue Shirt Banter, and it was sort of like, well, tell me a little bit about Sheldon Keefe, right? Because Keefe was out of a job, and then it was like, well, tell me a little bit about Spencer Carberry because he was another guy
Out of a job.
and we were talking about it, and hindsight's 2020. Carberry's probably going to win the Jack Adams, and maybe the Rangers should have moved heaven and earth to get him.
So it's been Torts and then Gerard Gallant and then Laviolette, right?
No, you're missing one.
Tom something?
The guy with the husky eyes.
Yeah.
The guy with the husky eyes?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
All right.
You didn't need to do this off the top of your
Quinn?
head.
Rangers.
No, David Quinn.
Just David Quinn.
There you go.
So
He looks like a husky.
I don't know if David Quinn's a hard ass, but Gerard Gallant isn't known as one, but he's grumpy.
He's grumpy.
Torts is grumpy. Laviolette's grumpy. At a
He's
certain
got
point,
a head shaped like a fire.
He
looks hard to knock
You got
out.
the order wrong. It was Torts, Alain Vigneault, David Quinn, Gerard Gallant, Laviolette.
So maybe they should. Alan Vigneault's grumpy too. Why don't they hire somebody with some sunshine in their life?
Because James Dolan is their owner.
Like it's clear. Like I think these guys are done being yelled at. How about? Hey, literally, it's a confidence issue. You can't tell me the Rangers are not a playoff team. You can't. And yet here we are.
They should have at least been in the mix, which they weren't even really. Like they were very briefly.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
give me somebody who went to a beach once in his life and enjoyed it. Like, oh, I like beers at a tiki bar. Like, give me somebody who can like relate to a human being on a human level.
Go to a restaurant that has paper on the table where you can draw something, and the first candidate to draw something on the table wins, because that man's life is full of whimsy.
Really?
How's that?
That's great. I like that. All right. So I guess, you know what, from there, I mean, is there anything else in the playoffs you guys want to hit before? Because, I mean, the St. Louis game we talked about the Dallas series. We talked about the New Jersey-Carolina game. Not much to be gleaned from that. Vegas, Minnesota. I feel like we're going to know next time we sit down here at Sport Check in Maple Leaf Square, we're going to have so many more things to talk about. We'll have a couple of games under our belt. Trends will start to bring themselves up. We love a trend. We love a play.
I don't know, Adam.
We love a narrative.
I don't know. I think we should all, you know what? Hopefully you enjoyed the show, but you should just block out the noise.
Oh, stop it. Well, we were going to do the press conference.
I'm doing that bit
Okay.
until I'm sick of it, and I'm not yet.
Hey, Steve, those arms are sure looking thick.
Yeah. It's because of my True Classic shirt. You like it? Yeah.
Jesse just gave his biceps a good slap.
Ow. It actually, I didn't like
You're
that.
quite.
Oh,
Look
no,
at
you
you.
didn't
Look at
like
you.
that.
You know what? Here's the thing with True Classic. We're just gonna it grabs it grabs you and
Grabs
it makes you look strong. And also it's about accentuating the parts of a man that are manly. You know, the chest and the
Yeah.
biceps. And I mean, they can't give you the sleeve tattoo, but you got one.
Yeah.
And it helps.
And listen, earlier this show, I was wearing something over this, and you were like, "Is Steve put on a little weight?" And then I took it off, and obviously not.
They also say you can roll it up to show off the gun.
Yeah.
The lion makes different faces when you go like this. He makes different faces.
Listen, they've got moisture wicking, odor fighting, quick drying, and antimicrobial fabrics. And for this spring, check out the Pima Cruise, the short sleeve comfort knit button ups, the comfort knit chrono shorts, the classic twill shorts, the 6-inch swim trunks, because apparently 6 inches is enough.
Is that it?
That's the length that you want to have if you're wearing shorts.
Is that in the script?
It says it's enough. So I don't know. I'm just going by what I've heard. So listen, if you want to get yourself some True Classic, you should check it out. trueclassic.com/dangle. It's trueclassic.com/dangle. If you're a man and you want clothes that are trusted by 4 million customers and over 200,000 5-star reviews, trueclassic.com/dangle.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
First thing for the press conference I wanted to bring up was the state of NHL broadcasting. Because Sportsnet doesn't send their own broadcasts to series that aren't Canadian. So they did it the first time they got the rights.
Yep.
Sportsnet sent everybody everywhere.
Everyone everywhere.
They
Not
had
a single
40 million.
Canadian series.
All 8 series that were happening, they sent broadcast crews to all of them. They covered all the games. The next season, or I assume when July hit, they realized this isn't a cost-effective way to cover the playoffs because there isn't the money we're making back on having these rights and sending all these people.
They were showing
So they nixed that. And the next thing they do is they bring in the feed for the American series from ESPN or TNT or whoever had it at the time, whether it was Versus or whatever NBC Outdoor Life Network was showing the playoff games. So right now, currently on our climate, it's ESPN and TNT. So Sportsnet will bring in, for the Dallas-Colorado series, the TNT broadcast.
Sure.
But TNT, for at least the first game of some of these series, aren't sending their own crews.
No.
And are doing remote broadcasts from Atlanta, where TNT, TBS, the big corporation, is Turner's building, is based out of.
So they just got John Forsland in
So-
a closet.
They got Steve on looking at his laptop calling a game. And this is their broadcast, that the only broadcast that any of us have access to, because Sportsnet didn't send their own, and TNT is not sending people, and they're broadcasting out of Atlanta. And I think, like, it disappoints me, because as making a living in hockey's amazing, that this is what we're getting out of a broadcast.
It's just another version of shrinkflation, right? This is the Pringle can shrinking. This is this bag of chips feels
You used
like
to
it
get
has-
230 grams. Now it's
Yeah,
220.
feels like it has more
So
air.
disappointing for a league that has revenues at the highest they've ever been, and a game that is only growing the last few years post-pandemic. Everything's going up in the NHL, and we're not seeing the investment from the broadcasters to the audience.
Let me speak to that a little bit. The reality is the broadcasters used to make crazy money off of it, and what the NHL discovered via the NFL and the NBA was, hey, why are the broadcasters making all this money? We should, which is why rights became so expensive, because these leagues realized, hey, we're the product. And we're the ones that should be making the majority of the money. And the profit margins on a lot of these sports are not that big. And in fact, in hockey in Canada, you don't make money off of hockey. It's if you hold the rights, you can't have a sports network without hockey. And that's why you've seen TSN pivot so hard to the NFL, because those rights are actually profitable for them. You mix that in with regional hockey games like NHL games, and all of a sudden you got a more complete calendar. When the NHL signs these rights deals in the States for the playoffs, I can understand maybe a little bit of this in the regular season. they should protect their own product. And the NHL does protect their own product. They do call rights holders and go, we didn't like that comment. We don't want you to talk about the refs that way. We don't want you to. They do it all the time. What I'm shocked about is that they don't put in the deal, you have to send play-by-play and color analysts to every game. Like if it's a Canadian group, so if it's Sportsnet or Rogers, it should be in the deal. Guys, if there's a Canadian game on, you got to have people there.
No.
And Rogers, by the way, to their credit, does. They have people on the ground. They do.
Yeah.
But
they don't do it for anything else.
I'm not loving the doom and gloom here because here's what the media won't talk about. Okay, so the NHL is making record profits, right? And more people than ever are watching, and they had an attendance record. And the NHL is passing the savings on down to the fans. Ticket prices are plummeting, and concessions are. You can get a hot dog. They'll pay you to eat. Actually, all you can eat, more like, here, take this, pig. And they just give it to you for free, negative free. They also give you money with the food. Isn't that what's happening?
That's not what's happening.
Oh, it's not what's happening? It's
So, Adam,
another
you think-
version of us eating our friggin' slop.
You think there should be blame on the NHL for not demanding this in
Protect
contract
your
writing?
own product.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good that John Forsling is not there?
It makes the league look like crap.
It's
It
so
does.
rinky-dink.
Yeah,
It's
like
awful.
when the Jays pulled their crews off the road for a season, I think they now
The
sent
pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic, and then I think they tried to keep going, and then Jays fans like rioted.
Yeah.
Now the
And
Jays have scale,
They
right?
still don't send the radio team.
They don't send the radio team, but they
Yeah.
do send the television team.
Yes, yeah.
And the Jays are an interesting case study because they have scale in a way that most MLB teams do not. You have an entire country. 40 million people potentially is an audience, right? And even if you catch 10% of that, that's amongst the
good.
highest. That's amazing. If you catch
Still
5% of that, it's incredible.
Yep.
And so, the Jays can afford that. They can afford the hotels and the flights and everything else. For the NHL, I can understand the regular season being like, guys, like we can't send people on the road for everything. Playoffs, though, you need to protect your product. And that was an oversight by the NHL. And in the future, they need to start to guarantee that. But don't worry, they don't have to worry about it for another 7-8 years because they love these long-term deals, which are bad.
7-8?
When you've got revenues exploding.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the desire to want to sign a 12-year contract. I don't understand it. You're leaving money on the table. It's like if Austin Matthews signs or if Mitch Marner this offseason signs an 8-year contract, he is leaving money on the table.
But you and I, Adam, we're talking like Poise.
True.
Because we have never been offered that much money. If someone was like, hey, Steve Guerrero Jr., which he was almost named. That was his runner-up name, was Steve
Guerrero Jr.
Guerrero Jr. Here's $500 million. I don't think I'd have the strength to say no.
No. You wouldn't.
Nope.
You wouldn't.
Steve,
I would.
you ever
'Cause I'm
cheer for the Ottawa Senators? No. Here's $500 million. I
have to look at that.
will take this back to my people. And you know what?
I don't
This
know.
Jason Spezza jersey is far too blue. I think I need to make some alterations to it. You know what? I love government.
You couldn't
now.
wholeheartedly do it. You couldn't wholeheartedly do it.
I
know you couldn't.
find a way.
You couldn't. There's no way.
I'd find a way.
There's no way. Staios is going to call you now.
$500 million?
Yeah.
Oh, if Steve Staios, let me tell you something. If you have $500 million for me, I'll be that worm.
No,
I
you
will be
won't.
that piece
You will
of
not.
crap.
Jesse, what's the next
Are
question?
you gonna pay up your bet, Steven?
Oh, I have to pay
That
my
little
bet.
jersey.
Where's the jersey?
When,
am I
are we-
supposed
when,
to
are-
get it
when are you
to?
wearing it? Wednesday? Because
tell me
Wednesday
you
we're
won.
probably gonna record VIP, right?
You tell me. You won.
So, all right, Wednesday.
Ooh.
Wednesday, you got to bring out the jersey.
And no
Provide
half
the-
billion.
No what?
No half billion.
and I still got to wear the jersey. This sucks. I hate you. You're a bad friend.
Well, thank goodness we're in the Sport Check where you can probably just pick up a jersey off the rack.
Yeah.
And then we're going to
They
purchase it. So you got to take it home. We're going to get it crested. And it's going to say Dangle.
Getting it crested.
we're getting it
It's gonna say Dangle. It's going to say Grig.
Oh.
Which one would you rather have?
Should
Who's
we let the
number
listeners?
20? Zetterland. Can I get a Zetterland?
Would you rather have Grig, Cousins, or Dangle?
man.
Or Chris Neal.
I'm going to say Greg because I feel like if it said Dangle, I'd have to burn it. Like, that Dangle's not supposed to be on the back of a Sens jersey. It's not. Greg, at very least, is something that makes sense, and it's something you made me wear.
I think that's why we got to put Dangle on it.
No!
Yeah,
I think that's why we have to do that.
No!
Sounds like it has to be Dangle.
Can I change my number to 69?
No.
What?
No. And by the way, Sens fans might burn it for you. I don't think you'll have to burn it. They'll be like, kill it with fire. Holy water.
Can we
water.
get you to take a step into Maple Leaf Square?
No, that wasn't part of the deal. Absolutely not. Wasn't part of the deal. Wasn't part of the deal. Wasn't part of the deal.
Evil.
I bet you do love it.
there.
And hey,
Evil, it's
hey,
right
oh,
there.
what are you
Yeah,
getting up
right
for? To
down
kiss
there.
my ass?
We'll
Because
go
there's
down there with
no
no
way
people.
I'm freaking doing that. Absolutely not.
We can do it when there's no people. Like, we'll do
No.
it during the day on
No.
Wednesday.
No.
But like, if anybody wants to come down and watch
Wet
Steve,
blanket, stick in the mud. No. Absolutely, positively
if anybody
not.
wants to come down to Maple Leaf Square during the day on
Nope.
Wednesday, you might see a Dangle 20
No, you won't.
Sens jersey.
Oh,
No, you won't.
And Steve chanting, "Go Sens,
All this
go!"
because of golf?
Yeah, you picked the
No,
wrong
what?
guy.
I hate golf.
You accepted the bet.
Stupid.
Who's your favorite Sen?
Who's my favorite Sen? Yeah. Frig off is my favorite Sen.
Big Elfie guy back in the day.
Who's my favorite?
Yashin?
Carlson.
Damian Rhodes?
I did like Yashin because he sucked in the Battle of Ontario. Oh,
Lalim?
Damian Rhodes, good answer.
Lalim.
Lalim, sick mask, bad goalie.
Hamburglar?
Let's go with him. You know what? I met Hamburglar.
And you liked him.
He was very nice.
Yeah.
Let's go with Andrew Hammond.
Okay.
He's like the only time I can remember like legitimately being like, the Sens winning is kind of cool. Dude, he went like undefeated. It was crazy.
The Leafs were so bad it didn't matter anyway.
No, no, they might have finished last that year.
Yeah, they were
was
terrible.
That the Horacek year?
Yeah.
They were horrible is what they were.
Yep.
I'm good on there with questions, Adam.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's wrap it up then. That was fun. I enjoyed.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't wait for Wednesday when Steve's in the middle of Maple Leaf Square.
Absolutely. You'll have to drag me kicking and screaming.
We will.
No. Oh, I keep forgetting you're 6'5". No. No.
Live stream tomorrow night. Steve will be from home. We'll be from down here. And we will see you then.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.